Just look at this berry set. I cannot believe it. This is probably the best crop of berries we've had on these needlepoint hollies the whole time these have been planted. You see, when we laid out the garden here, we wanted to make sure that it served at least two purposes. One is that it had to look, well, it had to look good. Aesthetics were a big concern. But then also, we wanted to layer on habitat for wild birds, because I tell you, we have so many gorgeous wild birds up here, you just cannot believe it. So what happened is we have honeybees that come in when these hollies bloom. They have a tiny little indiscriminate flower on them, but the bees love it, and they take the nectar off and they pollinate. And you can see the results of the honeybee pollination here. So what happens this time of year, which it's sort of mid to late winter, we get this influx of migratory birds such as cedar waxwings. And let me tell you, they will strip every single holly off of all of these hedges. And what I try to do in this garden space here at the farm is to do this long hedge here, and this hedge that comes along this side. And then there's this alley of these tree-form wisterias. So what happens is the birds will fly in here, and they'll eat, and then they'll fly back up here and land and look around for predators. Then they'll fly back over here and eat, and then they'll fly back up here and sit around and look. So it's a really good juxtaposition of a food source and a place for them to sort of scout and make sure there are no predators around. Predators like bobcats or domestic cats. In neighborhoods and things like that, it's domestic cats that really like to take the songbird population down. As the season unravels, we have other sources of food for birds. Believe me, they love my big fig. They get in there and they eat the figs. I don't mind sharing them, but we have the fig, which is a source of food in the center of the garden. Then there's a big rose hedge on either side, so you get the same sort of thing going on, back and forth, a place to hide, a place to watch, and a place to feed. And then down in the lower gardens, we try to plant lots of different flowers that attract things like hummingbirds. So we have lantana, salvias. They're crazy about any sort of tubular flower. So we try to make sure we have plenty of those that will extend late in the season, because as the hummingbirds are moving south at the end of the season, we want them to stop off and be able to fuel up with plenty of nectar, and then they can leave the farm. And we've become a destination. It seems like over the past 4 or 5 years, we're getting larger flocks of like cedar waxwings, more and more hummingbirds, so they must be telling their friends or something. Hey, if you're enjoying these segments, tell your friends about them and check in regularly.